This is Four Factors, sponsored by your Super Chevy dealers.
Yeah, the preseason is done. The quarterback mystery is over. Right now, the Caesars Sportsbook has the over-under for Saints regular season wins at 5.5. Not much confidence. But here's one factor that might help get the Saints over that number. It is number 99. Chase Young represents the largest untapped upside on the Saints roster. In 5 NFL seasons, he's never had more than 7.5 sacks. But in his junior season at Ohio State, he had 16.5. He was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy as a defensive end. He was the single most dominant defensive player in the country by far. And when you watch him in the NFL, even now, he still often looks like a man among boys. He is fully healthy, and I think Chase Young is ready to break out in a big way. I think he has double-digit sacks this season, and if he does, maybe the Saints defense can keep them in some ball games. He is the upside on the team. You know what the downside is? The offensive line is dangerously thin. Multiple injuries in training camp mean if any of the Saints' starting 5 O-linemen get hurt, the drop-off to their backups is enormous. The Saints made 2 trades at the end of training camp just to have enough healthy bodies. Injuries on the offensive line played a major role in derailing 2024. It is a huge danger again in 2025. At number 2, I am encouraged by this year's draft class. 8 of the 9 Saints draftees made the roster. That includes these 3. That's a first rounder, a second rounder, and a third rounder. But what might make this class special are these 3. This is a 3 and 2 4s. Jonas Sanker, Danny Stutzman, and Quincy Riley will all play backup roles for now. I think all 3 have real upside and a chance to be foundational pieces. And at number 1, New Orleans sports reporters have talked incessantly all summer about the quarterback race. I know I have. Here's why. Quarterback play, as much as any single factor in the NFL, determines your success. That is a fact. Turnover margin, total offense, red zone efficiency, all big factors, none bigger than quarterback play. Using one stat, a team's passer rating will break the NFL into 4 groups. We're talking the best 8 quarterbacks, then the next 8, that is the top half, then the next 8, and then the bottom 8. 14 teams make the playoffs. Of the best 8 quarterback ratings, you know how many of these teams made the playoffs last season? 7. The one that didn't, the Cincinnati Bengals. Why? Because they were so bad and so unlucky everywhere else, they finished 9-8 and missed the playoffs. Of the next 8, you know how many made the playoffs? It was 6. That means 13 of the 14 playoff teams last year had quarterback play in the top half of the league. The only team with below average quarterback play to make the playoffs was Houston, and they did it because they played in by far the worst division in the NFL. If your quarterback play isn't in the top half of the league, you have almost no chance to get to the playoffs and certainly no chance to win anything. That is the reality of today's NFL. That's why we talk so much about quarterbacks this summer. Spencer Rattler has to be good for the Saints to win. Now, we will preview the Cardinals game next week in our 4 factors. That is our 4 factors this week for the end of training camp.